Alright, team. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics, Known Classics. This is episode number 2299. And that was number 2193. Yes, I do know the next episode is going to be 2100. Now, I originally do a physical book for this one, but I figured though, do a physical for episode 2100. This one is another one of those unique ones. We're discussing issues from the previous trade along with the main trade and a different one. First, we're discussing Amazing Spider-Man 151 to 155 from Marvel Masterworks Amazing Spider-Man Volume 15. And I think it stops at 55, I think so, yes. So, the reason why I'm skipping with the first portion of this one, because I've discussed those issues already. Well, do you want to know how? The Clone Saga. Yep, the Clone Saga. So, mostly put basically, we're the start of the Lean Ween era. Yeah, we're starting his era up on the book, and he does create a particular character, which I will discuss in this video. He's trying to drop up basically body of a dead, a clone of his, which actually comes back to haunt a couple times after this one. One was a picture Jameson took. The other was basically this clone's body showed up in the 90s. Yep. Of course, here with MJ, and of course, they also with the Green Goblin. Aside from not necessarily really knowing, like apparently we have a pair of Shocker in this issue. Yes, Shocker appears here. He appears in this issue in the following issue. And like daily 100 yards. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's a particular film in this one. So it's basically this issue is all about him having a sniper. That's most what that issue is about. In the case of 154, he has basically another fight with the Sandman in his Alpha first showed up in Marvel Team Up. Yes, when he became part of 504. Yep. Yeah, so he basically puts in this costume, and he eventually puts on his Team Up costume, which first appeared back in Marvel Team number 2, which they noteworthy here. I will discuss Marvel Team Up at some point. It's going to be quite interesting to discuss that one. You have discussed some issues of it already. Yep. So, and then we have basically a whodunit issue for issue 155, which is the last issue in the book. Like, whodunit? It's not much of an issue per se. It's okay. It's all about fighting computers. It's okay. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for that one. Now, I'm gonna give those issues in particular we have a 9 out of 10. It has a few good issues in here. But here's the main one we have in here. We have Amazing Spider-Man. We have Marvel Masterworks Amazing Spider-Man Volume 16, which covers issues 156 and 168 of the main series and annual number 10. The writing here for all these issues, including annual, was done by Lean Ween. Bill Mantle co-writes the annual. Russ Aldrew does pretty much the main artwork for the main issues. And Gail Kane does the artwork for the annual. Now, this book in particular covers a time period of May 1976 to May 1977. So 156, we have debut of the first, probably by far the first official villain under Lean Ween, Mirage, the same character that killed up by Scourge in the 80s, who later got killed by the Punisher in the 2010s. And the whole thing with this issue is that it's also the wedding of Ned and Betty, Ned Land, Betty Brant. It's basically a wedding. I think it's the first official wedding they have here. So, and then right afterwards we have 157, where at the end, actually in 156 we have Return of Dr. Octopus, for the first time since his apparent death. And Spidey knows nothing about this until he gets back home. So, and then of course, May apparently have a package kept for him. He's able to shower, shave, comb his hair. And here's the thing. Dr. Octopus is presumably probably like late 30s, early 40s. May is in her 60s. And she's calling him a tease. And of course, basically, they recap the events of basically what happened. How the heck he survived an exploding power plant. Yes, from his aborted wedding. And I was back in Amazing Spider-Man 131. This is issue 157, roughly 2 years later. So, yeah, he managed to escape somehow. Hammerhead died, but then he used some scientific trickery to bring him back to life. So the Rocket League worked together to deal with Hammerhead, and this lasts for a few issues. Yep. Yeah, that's mostly what these issues are, just dealing with Hammerhead. Hammerhead back to life in issue 158. Basically, we're having the story about basically 159. And then, and 160, we'll get to that one. So, and number 10, which is the first annual to have original stories, and number 5, which is done by Stanley. This is done by Lean Ween. This is the debut of the Human Fly, who I believe was the first major kind of type of thing that Jameson was involved with, project-wise, since Scorpion. The difference between two of them, Scorpion is a very popular villain. People know who he is. Human Fly, if you ask a casual comic fan, hey, do you know who Human Fly is? Oh, you mean that movie that came out back in the 80s? Yeah, they'll have no idea who he is. Like, if they ask, do you know about the Scorpion? Yes, I do know about the Scorpion. He popped up in the Spider-Man anime TV show. And we've seen the comics. Wears a green suit. He's also a cyborg currently. Yep, people know him. But not Human Fly. Nope, not Human Fly. So yeah, Jameson gets dragged into creating the Human Fly, which he regrets. Which, from what I heard, was some homeless guy they basically just randomly chose to pay the Human Fly. Yeah, and Spider-Man takes him on. He of course, here's the thing. Unlike, basically, Scorpion, who basically is able to survive all this time and never been killed off in comics, Human Fly has been killed off. He got killed off by Scourge of the Underworld. He's one of his many, many victims. Where did this go here? So, after the whole thing with the Human Fly stuff in number 10, after he deals with him, and then we have a very infamous issue. Amazing Spider-Man 160. We have a return of a villain who had not appeared in this book since issue number 2. Who is it? The Terrible Tinkerer. Oh yeah, I love the title of this issue. My Killer. The Car. Yeah, where somehow the Terrible Tinkerer has basically got his hands on the Spidey-mobile. And you're thinking, what? He got his hands on the Spidey-mobile? Yeah, he got his hands on some point. He also got his assistant named the Toy. Now, I think it was issue 2 was his previous appearance part of this one. Yeah. They do follow up with this issue 50 of Spectacular Spider-Man, which that was not an experience. Nope. Oh, by the way, here's the thing about Terrible Tinkerer. Did you know he has a son? Yeah, a son. By the Rick Mason. At one point, he was declared dead. Yeah. It's weird though the fact that basically that they waited a long time to bring this character back. Like, here's the thing. Made his debut in February 1963. He returns kind of in cameo in issue 159. This was actually his first appearance in 14 years. It was also the debut of a character known as the Toy. He was a robot. Yeah, they did return one time after, a few times after this one. Yeah, but the thing with Temple Tinker is, unlike basically the Toy, who does very much, Temple Tinker occasionally appeared over the years. His most recent appearance was actually in issue 1000 Amazing Fantasy. I'm not kidding about that. So, also in this particular issue, I believe that the car is destroyed. The original, anyways. Yeah, and the original version of the car is never seen again. The Spider-Man itself has occasionally popped up over the years, but yeah, this is the last time it was seen. Well, until it popped up in Marvel Knights Spider-Man number 7. That was a flashback, so I'd say was it Spider-Man Human Torch? Yeah. So yeah, it was gone by the end of this issue. Yeah, so and somebody questioned, why was Spider-Man have a car even though he doesn't have a license? Good question. So yeah, then 61, we have basically a two-parter with his return of the Punisher in this one. First time is issue 36, and we have Spider-Man take on Nightcrawler for a guest appearance. Also Wolverine's here as well. Punisher, like in the case of the last time, does show up at the end of the issue. Actually, just halfway through, not the end this time. But this issue is noteworthy for a debut of a villain. And you're thinking, which one? Well, it happens in 162. Yes, we have a debut of a brand new villain. Jigsaw! Yes! Longtime Punisher villain made his first appearance in the pages of this very comic book. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. Jigsaw made his first appearance in issue 162 of Amazing Spider-Man. Just like his arch nemesis Punisher. So he appeared once after this in a one-off issue, then he basically became a regular Punisher owner after that. So, and then we have 163, Return of the Kingpin. Which, if you're curious though, his last appearance was actually back in... Well... Yeah, so... So think about it, technically his last appearance was actually pages of Captain America. Yeah, he appeared for 2 issues of Captain America involving Hydra, and also the fact that basically this issue and the following issue mostly put as a two-parter, which mostly put basically serves as a return and his apparent death until he comes back later. The whole point of this two-parter is to bring back his son. And he, of course, disappears for a little while until he gets amnesia. Yep. And then 165, we have the return of Stegoron. Yep. Who ends up fighting the lizard the very next issue. Yep. Yeah, and then 167, we have... I think it was this issue right here. Let's see. I think it was during this period of time we had a debut of another character. Let's see. Because I know she made a debut in this era. It was actually 162. We had a debut of Marla Madison. If you're curious, who is that? This is the woman who later became Jameson's second wife. Yep, wife number 2. Yeah. Which, yeah, and of course this issue basically was a minor plot thread that was happening in the book, where he's building a new Spider Slayer. And then pretty much after this issue here, if you're curious, did Marla appear again after this issue? Yes, she did. Her next appearance, right after this issue here, she appeared in the next several issues. In 166, we had one. Is it no 166? Was 168. We have debut of another brand new character. I believe this is debut. Actually, it was at the end of issue 167. We have debut of Willow the Wisp. And you're thinking, who the heck is Willow the Wisp? The stuff related to him is related to the Brand Corporation. Yeah. That's his whole thing. It's related to Brands Corporation and another reoccurring Spider-Man villain. Who? You'll find out. So after dealing with that, then we turn to Jonas Hathrow. Yes, the guy responsible for turning Hammerhead to the way he is now. And that's pretty much it here. Jonas Hathrow gets away. Will he be seen again? You really want to know if he's seen again? Like, here's the thing. After this issue, he's not seen again into issue 202. This issue in particular was the first for issue 126. Yeah. And the man Scarlet Data got killed by Hammerhead. But this book is amazing. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It's awesome. Not that one. Where are you? Yeah, and like in the case of Amazing Spider-Man, let's see. Let me look this up on here. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, with this one in particular, like in the case of the Amazing Spider-Man one, I'm discussing issues in previous trade and in the following one because basically discussed part of the issue already, thanks to, well, a Marvel Epic Collection. Let's see. Here we go. For this book in particular, we're discussing issues 154 to 159. Oh, come on, seriously. I really appreciate what stop doing that. I think it was 154, right? Yeah, 154. Yeah, first talk about Uncanny X-Men, the older stuff, in quite a while. I figured though, why not? I mean, I'm into the Epic Collections, doing a lot of those. Why not do more stuff with X-Men? Yeah, most of this one we have just Cyclops Storm and Cornstar, where they deal with various stuff going on here. It's not a lot going on this issue per se. In the first appearance, not really. Just basically actually with some threat. And then the very next issue we have Cyclops get injured, Colossus get injured. And of course, Tigra shows up. Yes, Tigra. Well, we do see a debut, well, first new identity for character in these issues, but we'll get to that. Yep, and then we have the Starjammers show up to help them out. Yep. The reason why they're here. Of course, we have the Shi'ar here. We have Xavier with Leandra, and of course, Deathbird. Yeah. And then with 157, we deal with the return of the Phoenix Force. Yeah, I think this is the Dark Phoenix saga. Yeah, we jump into the Dark Phoenix saga stuff. Or at least a revisit it. And then we have Rogue, where she first shows up in X Comics in 158. Yes, I believe this was her first appearance in the X-Men comics. Yeah, she had just previously appeared in Annual number 10. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is basically 80s stuff. Yes, this is basically Rogue after she came off her appearance in Advent number 10. Is her fighting the group for the first time, her kissing Wolverine, because why not? Yep. Carol Danvers issue, then we have in issue 159, we have the X-Men versus, of all people, Dracula. Yes, frickin' Dracula. What's that continues in the X-Men annual? Yep. But yeah, those issues were great. Love them. Give it 10 out of 10. Next up we have is basically our main book. We have Masterworks Uncanny X-Men. Volume 8 was collect issues of Uncanny X-Men 160, 167, and annual number 6. And this book, well, since the fact this book doesn't list off here, yeah, for some reason the page is not here, so come on. So it starts off from May of 1982, and we wrap up with December 1982. Yep. So we conclude this book with the annual. Plus, I love how this book shoots and ladders like the old video game, like the old board game. Yeah, there's a board game called this. Yeah, he just mostly put Storm. You have Kitty Pryde hanging out with was possibly Nightcrawler. Basically, if Basculo pop up in this book, yes, for the pages of Kazar, a demon in love with a little girl. It's almost like the issue was set up for basically Illyana's miniseries. And then we have 161. We have more stuff with we have basically set for the Brood. Yeah, basically really into the Brood stuff here. Yeah, the Brood saga. The Brood had shown up 155, and basically this is kind of like the first saga for the Brood. It wraps up at 163. Yep, it's a very brief saga, but this is technically the first Brood saga. So yeah, it wraps up 163. Kitty Pryde being possessed by one of them. Of course, it gets killed up at the end of the issue. And then 164, we have the first time we have Carol Danvers becoming binary, which she's binary at this point for a long period of time. She's binary for over a decade. Yep, she's binary for a long time. What time is Marvel was time her become binary. So, yeah. Excuse me. And then right afterwards, we continued the whole Brood stuff. I thought we were at the 164. Nope. It continued for quite a while. We're going to space to the Brood Hive. Fun fact with the Brood, they're actually based on the xenomorphs from Aliens. Yep, I think 167 does wrap the story. I believe so. Well, then we have supposedly Xavier Time, he gets going to a new body. In this issue here. Yeah. And then pretty much basically... And then we have the X-Men annual where Storm is turned into a vampire. Yes, turned into a vampire. And I believe also they kill off some characters in this particular annual. Yes. If you're curious who they kill off in this annual, well, they kill off Rachel Van Helsing. Yep, she gets killed off in this annual by Wolverine. We do have apparent death of Dracula, but he pops up in Doctor Strange after this. No, seriously, he pops up in Doctor Frickin' Strange. And by the way, Chris Claremont wrote this issue, so Chris Claremont killed off this character that I believe was, I don't think Claremont created Rachel Van Helsing. No, it was Archie Goodwin, Gene Colan. Did Gene Colan do the artwork for this issue? No, it was Bill Sienkiewicz. Now, if I get a chance with Chris Claremont, I'm going to ask him, why did he kill off Rachel Van Helsing for? It could have been a variety of reasons, per se. I know it's a follow-up to their battle with him in 159. But it seems strange, though. The X-Men Dracula? Yeah. So, yeah. They kill off in this annual, and that's it for the book itself. The book itself is really good. Give the book a... give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Okay, so... I actually have a 10 out of 10, which is really fun with this book. And... yeah, I'm now back into reviewing Uncanny X-Men stuff, the older stuff. First time I reviewed it quite a while. I think last time I reviewed was I, Magneto. Yep. But yeah, this particular review. Next up is going to be another Doctor Who review. And then there's going to be a couple manga reviews and another comic corner. Okay? Next video. Bye.